Hey everyone, this is Daniel and thank you so much for checking out the video. I'm super excited because this was a live experience that we had inside our Authority Hackers Facebook group. By the way, in case you're not a member yet, use the link below to join us so next time you can have and enjoy the live experience. We hold 2 live trainings every single week. But before we do that, let me just introduce you to today's topic, okay? So we had Rob joining us to talk about ManyChat and the power of chatbot marketing, especially when it comes to managing a Facebook group. We are going to show how you can actually use chatbot marketing to optimize the onboarding experience. Why do you need that? Because, well, Facebook group get all over the place. There's so many groups, there's so much competition, and you want to leverage and you want to use every kind of way that you can to make the whole onboarding experience just a little bit more personalized and unique. By the end of this training, you're going to understand exactly how to do that, how to get started for free without paying anything. It was a lot of fun, so get yourself comfortable. And if you like the video, let us know. Put a comment there below, and also consider subscribing so you can enjoy more awesome videos like that. Okay, so let's start.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for having me on here. You know, we hooked up a while ago, and it's been, I've been kind of spying your group a little bit, and it's great to see the interaction that goes on in here. And I mean, the stuff that you've been doing in your group is absolutely awesome. So I want to say thanks very much for having me on today. What we're going to talk about today is chatbot marketing. My name is Rob Verzera. I've been doing internet marketing for probably about the last year and a half now, and it has been a fun journey. I got into chatbots about probably 6-7 months ago, and I use them for so much. A lot of stuff has changed in Facebook, the way you have to use them now. So it's been a little bit of a challenge to kind of keep up with that, but I use chatbots for so much stuff. I have my Facebook group, and I use it to bring people into the Facebook group. I use it for onboarding. I use it as a delivery method. I use it for notification method for when we do lives. I use it for so much stuff, and it's funny because a lot of people say with the changes that have happened in Facebook that chatbots are essentially dying off, and that's to me, that's far from true. I mean, like I said, I use them for absolutely everything. And the training today, I think what we're going to do is we're going to talk about kind of some of the stuff you can do with them, how to hook them into your Facebook pages, and we'll go through a couple little demos as well.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And I think you had some really good points. I mean, I can vouch for myself as someone who has been, on the fence, sitting for a while, looking at those bots, hearing about their opportunity, about their possibilities and stuff, and was just afraid, I guess, from starting to use them. Basically, also because the recent changes in the 24-hour rule that we're going to discuss, guys. I mean, a lot of people made me fear about getting my Facebook account shut down and stuff. And now when I really started using that with ManyChat, I guess that I was just simply amazed. And I think that the majority of the group members that has been in the group for a while now know my excitement and passion for a chatbot, because I've been working on some crazy things behind the scenes, investing hours and hours and weeks on doing stuff. I mean, I'm not a pro. I'm far from being a pro, but I just like it, and I can see the amount of opportunities inside, and it is amazing. And you said thank you, but I really appreciate the fact that you came here for this show, for this training. I think that a lot of people will really appreciate the content that we're about to share. So this is awesome, man. So depending on how you want to do that, we can share your screen. Basically, up to you. What do you think we should do now?
Yeah, I tell you what, let me give me 1 second. Let me pull up one other page here. Yeah, let me share my screen, and what we'll do is I'm actually going to share a different screen here. I will share my. Okay, so I run a group called Social Networking Professionals, right? That's the name of my group. We have a page also called Social Networking Professionals. So the cool thing is about chatbots, just so you guys know, are hooked into a page, right? And it has to be your fan page, business page, kind of whatever you want to call it. But a chatbot is hooked into that page, into your business page. It's not something that you can have on your personal page. It's kind of limited just to a business page. So if you don't have a business page yet or a fan page, it's a great reason to get one, right? And it's just just kind of the way it hooks in there. So what you can see is on this page here, let me actually view it as a visitor. What you see is most things will have a send message thing, and then you can obviously put another button here. But the send message is the thing we're going to kind of talk about here. And what we do is you hook that send message button. It defaults to Facebook. So when you just hit it normally, it's just a regular Facebook Messenger, right? So there's many different chatbots out there. The one that I use, and I think the one you use as well, is ManyChat, right?
Yeah.
Awesome thing. And the best thing about it, for the most part, it's free. I mean, if you want to get fancy and use some of the other things, you can certainly do the paid version. I mean, I have the paid version because of some of the integration stuff I do. But for the most part, the free version will work for most everybody. Once you reach the 500 mark, you may have to start paying a little bit as well. But the thing is, it's for the most part, you can do everything in there for free, which is always a good thing, right? Free. Everybody's like, free is for me. So hey, that's always cool. And I know that a lot of people have probably seen them before. As soon as you hit the send message button, right, you get this little message right here. It says, hey, this is how fast the user reply, and then you have a welcome message. And to get started, the initial time in the chatbot, you have to click on get started. So what happens in this spot right here is instead of having Facebook deal with this, right, I have this hooked into ManyChat. So what I did is you go to ManyChat.com, you could sign up for free, and just create an account. As soon as you do that, the first thing it's going to do is going to ask you, what page do you want to put your chatbot with? And if you have multiple pages, it'll list all your pages. You select the page you want, and then you essentially attach it to there. So what it kind of looks like is after you log in, right, you'll have a dashboard. And this is kind of what my dashboard looks like. You can see up here, I have this bot. I have this page hooked into the bot. And like I said, I have many pages here, and I actually manage pages for a bunch of people as well. I manage bots for a bunch of people as well. So I have all the pages right in here. I have this particular bot hooked into my social networking professionals page. And the very first thing you want to do is once when you hook this on, you want to change your greeting text. And the greeting text right here is going to be on your dashboard. That's the message that shows right here. The very first time you click, the very first time anybody clicks send message, they're going to get a greeting message, and that's this message right here. And mine is kind of simple, all right? It just says, please click get started below, because everybody's going to see get started, whether it be on your mobile or on desktop. You're going to see the get started. And Facebook sometimes has a bug where even if you click the get started button at the bottom, even if I click this button, sometimes the bot doesn't fire. So what I do is I actually also, you can type in the word start. If you click get started here and nothing happens, you can type the word start and it'll fire off the bot as well. It's just kind of a backup that I have just to allow people to kick that bot off, right? So once you do that, it comes in with kind of a welcome message, right? So this is the very first thing. The second thing that you see is going to be your welcome message. And let's show up here. So this looks a little crazy, but this is kind of what one of my welcome, this is my main bot flow, right? And it's it looks kind of crazy because I have a whole bunch of other stuff on there, but the main thing is what you're going to see right here is going to say, hey, here's a nice little welcome. This is who we are. This is what, and then I ask them, what would you like to do, right? And then we just kind of, I give them choices. And I'm not going to go into how to actually do all this right now, but what you can see is when they come on here, right, it gives basically, this is the user experience. So they come in here, they could kind of get some information, then I give them a bunch of things to do. They could join my group, they could check out the training, or they actually can talk to somebody. And that's really the main thing right there is I want to be able to get them a way to either get some type of engagement in there, give them some type of offer, give them some type of action to do to basically provide value to them. And that's really the whole thing, right? You want to be able to provide value to people so they keep coming back to you. And that's really kind of what this thing does. There's so much you can do with it. The big thing is though, is once you get hooked into your page, right, you're kind of good to go at that point. And then from there, you can do almost anything you want. The bot can be kicked off a bunch of different ways. You can kick it off by the send message button. You can kick it off by a link. You can kick it off by somebody making a comment on a post on your page. So there's really tons of different ways to really kick off that bot. Dan, you still with us?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't see your picture down there anymore.
Oh yeah,
there you are. Okay.
Because I wanted us to zoom in a little bit more on your screen, so because it looks just so tiny when we use the videos as well.
Yep. Okay. So that's really just a quick overview of the bot, right? Of how to actually hook ManyChat into your page, and then from there, it's really what do you want to do with the bot, right? And I know Daniel does this as well, and so do I. I use it as an onboarding tool to get people to my group, right? So if they actually, I actually have a separate page called, let's see, it's join. So here's a quick example right here. So this is a page I kind of send everybody to that wants to join my group. And the reason why I do that is because I onboard them. I want them to have some information about a group. And I want to capture some information. I could certainly do it on the Facebook page and use something like Groups Pro to capture that information. What I've found for me and this particular group for me is that if I push people this way, I get more information out of them, and it allows me to do stuff later. So if I click like apply now right here, right, what it'll actually do, it'll kick off ManyChat, and it's right here. This is where it starts. So glad you want to be part of the family. And then what I do is I want to make sure, I always prompt them with, hey, are you okay with me talking to you through Messenger? Right, and once they come in here, it goes ahead, tells them a little about our group, and I ask them 3 questions, right? Who invited you to the group? Is the first question. Next one is what's your biggest challenge? And it's always like getting leads or whatever it is. And the last one is what's their email address? And now this is the really cool thing about the power of ManyChat. When they put their email address in here, what I actually do is I have an integration to go to basically an email sequence. So I drop them into an email sequence at this point. So they get emails about my, they get a 7-day email sequence about my group, about some courses that we offer, some benefits of joining the group. We make them an offer after I think the 3rd day. We'll put a small offer out to them. We offer coaching stuff, so we usually do that later as well. We have a whole thing called Member Vault, which houses a lot of our training. So I talk to them about that. But it's an awesome way to really get them onboarded into our group, so they kind of know what to expect and they kind of know what's going on. And it's once we've done that, it's just been really, really good, because people now go into the group and they're like, oh, okay, I get what it's about even before going in there. And throughout the entire week, we give them a whole bunch of stuff. We run a Facebook Live challenge in the group that's evergreen. So I talk to them about that, how they can go register for that. It's just a great way to communicate. And one of the reasons why also we switched to the bot is because the engagement rate in a bot is just absolutely through the roof. It's like your conversions are almost about 80%, 80 to 90% in a bot versus on a regular landing page. What I think it's 15-ish, right? If I put a message out to somebody, if I throw a message, I mean, it's like 80 to 90% they're gonna click it. So, which is, I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that, right? I mean, I will say though that there are some people, like I'm on a whole list of different people's bots just because I always like to see what other people do, right? Yeah, exactly, Gabriel. It totally elevates the experience to people. It gets that connection in there, and it builds that know, like, and trust, which that's the key, right? You want that know, like, and trust. So the more I can interact with you, and even though it's a bot experience, it's still personal enough where if they do need to talk to me, they type human and they could talk to me. But it's really one of those things that it just gets them familiar. It gives them kind of an expectation of what they're going to get. And it's just, it's really cool. I mean, bots are fun and they're powerful as hell. I have this one here also integrated to an email checker called Never Bounce. So if somebody puts a bogus email in there, I'm not going to send it anything out because it actually is validated through an external service. If you're a real estate agent, right, you can hook into Zillow, you can hook into other APIs where somebody could put in what their address is and you could automatically come back with, hey, your house is worth this, right? There's so many integrations that you can do with it. It's, I mean, it's literally like the sky's the limit. Like, what do you want to do with it? And we can do it. It's definitely really cool. It's like I said.
I think it's crazy, and I was actually waiting for you to add that reference to the open rates. Guys, this is amazing. I don't know if any of you have done email marketing, for example. I mean, I've never been that much into email marketing, but I've used that, and I did that, and I sent a whole bunch of emails to a whole bunch of people, and the open rates on Messenger are just like out of that world. It's like 90% plus is what I'm seeing. Usually what I see according to the internet is like 85% and up. But on email marketing, usually like the open rates are for most markets, most industries that are what I see are never beyond 20%. Okay. On average, okay? I'm not talking about one app day that people make after registering or something, because that usually, yes, it has a very high open rate. But I'm talking about an average in a sequence of emails, okay? So the average in a sequence is usually not above 15, 20%. So an email like on chatbot marketing, you can actually like 4 times get that very easily. So we're talking about the eyeballs that are actually seeing your content. It's like much higher rate of people actually seeing the message. It is fun to interact with. I mean, we have all that buttons and emojis and visuals. Unlike emails, when you open, you see everything. It's usually like a whole bunch of text. No matter how short you try to make it, it's a whole bunch of text. On Chatbot sequence, they can only see a message. They press something, they see another message, so you build it up instead of just showing them a whole bunch of text out of the very beginning, which is something that a lot of people don't find very sexy and luring. And yeah, there's a lot of integration. There's a lot of stuff. So Rob shared his application to the group, which I don't know, depending on when you joined my group, you might have had a similar experience. So whenever someone joins the group, he gets that link. He needs to go there, subscribe to my bot, answer a few questions, just like in Rob's situation, he needs to add where did he find the group. What's his email? And just like Rob mentioned, I also now started using Never Bounce, which was actually his suggestion. So before I actually use, I mean, he sends me the email so that already integrates with my MailChimp account, which is where I manage all my emails. So it automatically sends and subscribe that member to my email sequence and start delivering emails. But before it does that, it actually goes through that integration, checks that the email is okay. And there are so much opportunities that it's just crazy. I mean, you can integrate it with Google Sheets, so you can have all the data already filled automatically. You can have it with Zapier, and if you don't know Zapier, it has all like thousands of other integrations.
Yep.
So it is incredible. You can basically, if you're a techie kind of guy, you can basically do anything. If you're not techie, you still have plenty of stuff to do. So it was amazing, and I was waiting for that reference.
And I can show you, if you want to share my screen real quick, I can show you some of the click-through rates on my last. So we have a link that we sent out the other day. So 69 people saw the link, right? We had 56 of those people click. So that's an 81% click-through right there, right? I mean, I could zoom that up right there. So we sent out to 69 people, right? 56 of them clicked it. 80%, I will take that all day. As they go down, so okay, so of those 56, already, so 55 of them, so one person decided then not to proceed. Okay, that's okay with me. I've still got 56 people going to this, 98%, right? Depending on which path they come down here. This one here, 35 people saw this one, just because I do some conditional checks in here. So they're going to go on different flows. So this one here came down 35%. Yeah, 30 people go ahead and click that. So it's still 85%. This one right here at the very end. So this is one right here. I don't expect a lot of people to do this. This is an opportunity to share a post that we have. Not a lot of people do, but still 50% or 42% that saw this message, 15 of them actually shared it. So one of the things that we do is I encourage people to share stuff to their Facebook page, because what that does, it obviously gets more attraction to me, right? So if they do that, I give them a gift that they share. So I mean, that's not too bad. If we look up here, depending on the flow here, so this one here, 21 people actually made it this way just because of the way the flow goes, right? 14 clicked, 66%. Again, I'll take that all day. They get down to the end here, depending on what happens. Only 2 people actually made it down here because of the way the flow is. Both of them clicked. So, I mean, 100%. Down here, 1 person hit it, 100%. Down here, 35. We had 15 of them click, so 42%. The percentages are just off the chart, which is absolutely fantastic. And the great thing is that once they get in here, anytime I do any type of flow, I use what's called a one-time notification, and I'll talk about that in a second. But what the ManyChat, Facebook made a change back in February that essentially said that you are not allowed to send another message to somebody if they don't interact with the bot within 24 hours, right? It used to be that if they didn't interact with the bot within 24 hours, you had one more opportunity anytime after that to send them a broadcast or to interact with them. Facebook made a change and took away that one. So essentially what happens now is you have 24 hours after they interact with that bot to talk to them again, to send them a broadcast or kind of do whatever. So what Facebook said is that we're going to have them actually opt in so you can talk to them after 24 hours. And that's what's called the one-time notification. And all pages have the opportunity to apply for the one-time notification. And what I would suggest is as soon as you get on your page, if you come into, hang on, I got to remember where it is. Give me 1 second. I want to say it is, give me 1 second. It's been a little while since I've put this in here. Okay, it's under settings, advanced messaging. And what you're going to see is this thing right here, one-time notification. All you got to do is click this, and you'll go ahead. It takes usually about 2 minutes, and you'll get approved. Once you do that, what that allows you to do is within Messenger, you can do what's called a one-time notification. And if they click on that, it basically sets a token and allows me to contact them after 24 hours, right? I could contact them every time they click that button. I get one more time I could contact them. So if I put 3 in a row, I could contact them 3 times outside the 24-hour rule. So what's nice is that some of the things I have set up is we do trainings on Thursdays. So what we'll do is we'll set up a sequence going out through email, through a couple different methods to essentially have people register. And then what'll happen is that they'll register, they'll go ahead and click that one-time notification. And then what we do is on Thursday, about 10 minutes before the training, we send a broadcast out to everybody. And what that allows us to do is to basically anybody that has registered, didn't matter when they did, I could go ahead and broadcast out to them. And what's nice about that is what I do is I send them the actual link for our live. So I send that out to them about 5 to 10 minutes before the actual training starts. They click that, and then they come right in, and they go right to our live, right? Instead of having to go into the group, and depending on how active a group is, like a lot of stuff kind of can fly by, and you just don't see it. So this way, it brings them directly to the group, directly to the actual live that's going to start in 5 minutes or whatever. And it's awesome because once we started doing that, our lives, we've always had, I don't know, we averaged about 5-10 people on there. As soon as we started doing that, the very first time we had like 20. And I was like, that's awesome. So as we kept doing that, right, it grows and grows and grows. And now, I mean, our average lives are probably 50 to 60 people on there now. And it's like, that's awesome to me. Like my goal, like I want to be on a live with 1,000 people. That's one of my goals. So we've had a couple where it's been close to 100. I'm psyched. I mean, once I get that 100 mark, I'll be very happy. But my goal is to be on a live with 1,000 people. So keep doing this, and that's kind of what kind of lets us do it. So it's definitely pretty powerful.
I think first of all, I agree. It's really, really powerful. Guys, a lot of marketers, what they do usually before they go live is sending all those broadcasts, just like Rob was talking about. They use emails, for example, but just like we mentioned on emails, the open rates are extremely low in comparison to bots marketing. And the click-through rates that Rob shared are nothing like on emails. Like on emails, for example, the average a click-through rate that I usually see doesn't get above 10-15% max. And Rob just shared like 85%, 90%. So this is really awesome. You have a lot more interaction, a lot more activity from the user side, which is great. And the whole subscription base for the live events. I mean, inside this group, for example, we go live twice a week, and a lot of people have trouble keeping track of the hours, of the days. And when you post an update inside the group, not 100% of the people see it, okay? Especially if that's an update, it's not a post that gets a lot of engagement. So usually like 10-15% of the group actually sees that update. And then when you go live, a lot of people forget and never actually go and watch it. So this subscription base is actually a nice reminder to their messenger, with again a 90%ish of open rates about the upcoming live update, which is great. And by the way, I wanted to ask you, I hope that I'm doing it okay, because I'm actually not using the one-time notification. I understood that you can actually have them like actually subscribe for something, and whenever there's an update, not a salesy message, but whenever there's an update about this thing that they subscribe to, I can just send them a broadcast. So I don't need to actually get them subscribed every single time. Or am I actually not doing that right?
That's a good question. I've heard both ways, right? I've heard that if it's just an update, you can do it, but I've seen people that like I can't remember her name, Kelly something. Basically, she runs a huge chatbot thing. She follows those rules exactly, right? And she was doing exactly what you said, and she got her account shut down.
Really?
Wasn't it was
that?
well, yeah, that she doesn't know why. And of course, trying to ask Facebook, hey, why did my account get shut down? It's next to impossible to find an answer. So I used to do exactly that, because a lot of times, yeah, it's just an update about something. So what I do now is I explicitly ask them to hit that one-time notification. That way, there's never any question. There's not an issue. And not only that, but I can send them a pitch or a little bit of a pitch if I want to. I mean, one of the reasons why Facebook made the change is because you had people that were basically just spamming everybody, right? They're sending out pitches and pitches and pitches all the time. As Facebook said, well, this isn't meant for that. It's meant for a community. But as marketers, we have to kind of bend the rules a little bit. So that's why they kind of made that thing. So that's one of the reasons why once that happened and she got her account shut down, I'm like, yeah, every single time I do one-time notification. It's a little bit of a pain in the neck sometimes, but I'll do it. The people that go through it are used to it now, so it's not really that big of a deal. Hey, Gabriel has a question. He says, I'm new to bots. I've never used them and looking to incorporate them. Do you have any suggestions for a beginner? Honestly, play around with it. Think of what it is that I come from a background of automation, right? I love to automate things. What my rule is if I do something more than 3 times, I automate it. So what I started noticing is that I was sending out the same emails all the time, or I was messaging a whole bunch of people. I was like, okay, there has to be a better way to do this. And then that's kind of how this whole thing, I stumbled upon chatbots. Yeah, figure out what it is that you do a lot, especially within Messenger. If you're contacting people, figure out a way to automate that, or at least maybe part of it. You want to have that personal touch in there, right? You want to have that initial, hey, you know what are you doing, blah, blah, blah. And then from there say, okay, you know what, hey, go here and let's get some information or whatever it is that you want. But that's the big thing. Figure out what it is that you're constantly doing and use it to automate. I mean, it's a huge time saver for me.
Yeah, and I also know that she runs a Facebook group, so I can vouch again and say that the whole reason behind why I started using the ManyChat and the Chatbot marketing is in order to enhance the experience inside the group. So instead of just accepting everyone and not actually interacting with them ever, because it's almost impossible to interact with every single person that joins the groups, it's like very time consuming. So I was building this sequence. So whenever there's someone joining the group, he gets a video message from me, like 60 seconds, showing him, thanking him for joining, inviting him to raise a post, introduce himself, and then there's a whole kind of I think it's a 9-day sequence in which I present the live experiences that we're doing. I invite him to interact. I invite him to reach me out and introduce himself. I invite him to register for upcoming training. So the whole onboarding experience went into automatic kind of method. And now first of all, it saves me a lot of time. And it also allows
Oh, you froze up on me. Daniel, are you there? Can you hear me? To kind of piggyback on what he was saying, I'm not sure if I'm still live, but to piggyback kind of on what he was saying, is that it's a huge time saver as far as the automation and the onboarding stuff, especially if you have a group. It's a great way to onboard people into your group. One thing that Daniel does do, and I love, and I'm actually going to steal it, is he does a video. He has a video introduction. Oh, it's all me. All right, that's cool. So he has a video introduction as part of the onboarding sequence, which is fantastic. And I don't know, I never thought of it. So I'm gonna totally steal that a little bit. But I don't know if you guys want to see some. Oh, he's back. There you go.
Am I back? Oh, I'm
Yep,
so
you're back.
sorry, guys.
Right.
Seems like so were you actually still inside and like doing the call? Well, while I was out. Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah,
this is
I picked up where you left off, so we're good.
Okay, this is good to know. I was never, it never happened to me before. So awesome. So I don't remember what I was talking about actually, but
the automation for your onboarding thing. What I was saying is I saw your video. Like, I'm totally gonna steal that. I'm gonna put a welcome video in the group. Like, I don't know. So one of the things about it is that you can incorporate the video directly into the bot itself. You limit it to, I think it's like 20 meg or something like that, or you can hook one into from YouTube or something like that. So there's definitely a couple different ways. Gabriel had another question. It's exactly what I want to do. Also for lead magnets, reroute them to my group for other offers. Yeah, totally. One of the things that I do is for our trainings, I always encourage people to share, right? So what I'll do is I'll put a post on my page. I'll run people through the bot as they register, and the last thing I'll say, hey, if you share this post, the post I do on my page, if you share that, I'll go ahead and give you something, and it's usually a PDF about whatever is the training is going to be. So it's a great way to deliver stuff. I mean, it's super easy it's just easy. Like, it's so much easier than having to sometimes sit there and do out a whole page to do that. It's like, I tend to just go to Chatbots just because it's easy and quick. I mean, you can literally make a flow in 5 minutes. So
yeah, that's awesome. Talking about PDFs,
cool.
Guys, by the way, we also have a PDF to share with you. We'll talk more about that very soon. I think that chatbot marketing, in addition to what you said, is also really, really amazing for follow-ups. So let's say, for example, that you did a webinar, and now the webinar is over, but let's say that you also presented some kind of an offer during that event, okay? So not all people, I mean, the retention rate is usually not very high. Not all people get to see your offer. So if they were first interested in the live event, you can now create a follow-up and maybe send them just a little bit more about the offer using Messenger, again, with the very high open rates, and see and get back to them with the link and with all the information and with the replay. Maybe this is actually something that I was interested in doing. I mean, we have these reminders in live events, so now I want to also automate the procedure of actually getting back to all those subscribers with the replay on YouTube, for example, which also would be great. So the follow-ups are really important, and you can basically automate and make almost sure that they sit, again, with the very high open rates. I see that you open your ClickFunnels account. Do you want us to share the screen, or is it just like?
No, I was pulling up. I was going to pull up the link where we can have people download kind of exactly what we talked about. So the register. What we do, and I know what kind of I think Daniel's going to start doing is for the trainings, or if you're doing lives or something, and kind of like what we were talking about. Yeah, the registration part. The notification part is the actual broadcast out to say, hey, here's my live. And what you just said about follow-up is absolutely huge, right? You have 24 hours to follow up with them after they interact with your bot. So take advantage of that, especially if you do some type of training and you want to have an offer to go along with it, right? So you have your training, and then 24 hours, you know what, send out another message to them, say, hey, you know what, the training was awesome. Here's an offer for you, right? Here's whatever it is you want. And like with the click-through rates, at least they're gonna see the offer, right? It's going directly to them. If they decline it, absolutely fine. You know what? If they decline it, they just interacted with you. You have 24 hours now to send them something else. It may not be another pitch because you don't want to be that spammy guy, but you want to give them some type of value. And even if they don't take the offer, hey, you know what? Not a problem. Let's put you on something else, or somehow just kind of keep that engagement with them. because that's what a lot of people want. A lot of people just want that engagement. They want to know that, hey, you know what, you have stuff for me. You actually do kind of care about me because you are interacting with me. So it's they're fun. That's one of the words I use because I enjoy them. I play around with them. And it's funny, you said, yeah, you waste a lot of time. It's a time suck sometimes playing around with them because you start, they grow, right? You start playing around with them. Oh, let me add this little thing. What if I do this? And it's just, my registration flow started with literally like 2 things. It was, hey, do you want to register for this? Okay, cool. I'll notify you when you register. Then it went to, because they live on Facebook and they're essentially evergreen, right? It started going to, I've had people register after the event. So what I do now is I put a check in there and I say, hey, if this event has already passed, okay, cool. I'll send you right to the live training or whatever it is that we did. Instead of normally what would happen is that you lose that interaction. They'd hit that, say, oh, this training already happened, sorry, or they're registering for something that already happened. With the rules, with some of the conditional rules in there, I can say, hey, this training already happened, so let me go ahead and send it to you right now. So it's really, there's some really neat stuff you can do with that for sure. So I think Gabriel's ready to get started there. She's like, yes, perfect, ready to get started. Awesome, very good, very good.
I know a lot of people inside the group are interested in chatbot marketing. Unfortunately, they couldn't go live with us. Usually we go live on Thursday. But Rob is actually hosting an event every Thursday, from my understanding, just like us inside the group. So we had to make it on Wednesday instead. But yeah, man, that's awesome. Really, really amazing all that you said. I would love to see an upcoming trend in more group owners creating those bots and automating the onboarding experience. I think it would be amazing because I didn't see, I think that I saw that like 3 times in my life, the whole chatbot group kind of application thing. And it was never like more than that. I mean, people usually use that for like the onboarding and that was over. So like no follow-ups, nothing bigger, just very specific thing. Okay, you got them. And that is it. And I'm trying to always come up with better ways to make it even better. Like always to encourage them to participate and join and do stuff. And there's like, it's endless. It's really endless. Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't think that I ever finish with the version. It will always be tweaked further.
Yep. Then here's actually a really cool thing is that once you build your list, like I have 600, I think just about 600 people subscribed right now. I can actually, it's a paid sponsor, but what I can do is I can send a broadcast message to everybody on my list using a sponsored message. Which basically it's like a Facebook ad, right? I can pay. And essentially I can send a message to everybody on my list, right? It doesn't matter when they interacted with me last, it's a sponsored message and you get them. Like, it's funny, as we're talking, I literally just got one from, who's this from? Buildapreneur. Oh, that's, who is this?
That's Spencer.
Oh, Spencer. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, I literally just got a message from a sponsor message from him.
Would you like me to share the screen to show it?
Yeah, we can do that.
Does it send? I actually never tried.
I don't want to interact with them because I'll start getting more spam. So I usually, that's one of the bad things because I know, like, and I'm sure you kind of do the same thing. Like once you know certain things, it's like I'm not gonna click this thing.
I know a lot of friends that never go into websites just because of the retargeting that later happens. I mean, I know that if I'll press this course kind of guy will retarget the heck out of me on social media. So they live in fear. They live really in fear.
That's the problem with just knowing sometimes, right? You just know enough where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But for the most part, I mean, it's a very small percentage of people that know that, right? So most people they're like, oh, whatever, and blah, 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 and they just do what they're going to do. But that's another advantage of building that list, is that you can hit that. Wish or Blake new bar, yeah. So yeah, it's definitely it's one of the kind of cool advantages of growing that list pretty quickly. So for sure.
Yeah, and by the way, Rob, it would be really awesome. I mean, if you can maybe think of like startup tips. I mean, now someone like Gabriel, for example, is wants to start with chatbot marketing. How would you approach that as a very beginner? I mean,
well, what I guess it's what's the goal, right? You can't, you have to kind of first initially figure out what I want to do. Okay, if my goal is to kind of get leads, right? What I would do and what I've done is I actually have it's called the 15-minute boot camp, right? It's a 5-sequence series of 5 videos. And what it does, it essentially just gives people information on how to start using attraction marketing, right? And one of the things I do in there is let me see if I actually have it. I collect some information up front, and then I basically I walk them through a 5-day sequence, and then I could get more information from the back end. So kind of figure out what it is that you want. If the goal is to kind of get leads, right? What would you give me? What's in it for me to give you my information, right? So give me something of value. It's exactly like a lead magnet on a website, right? Exact same thing. So you talk to your group, talk to your page, you give them a link to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to give you guys whatever. I mean, if it's a video or it's a PDF, I mean, treat it. You can start off treating it exactly like you do a regular lead capture page on like ClickFunnels or any type of lead thing, right? Do exactly the same thing. You could handle all the delivery right within there. The big thing is that once you get people into the bot, that's the goal for me. Is I want them into my sequence, because once I get them into the sequence, I can do a whole bunch more stuff with them. So that's really figure out what it is that would provide value to your customer or whoever it is that you're trying to attract a lead from. And it's just a simple thing. I give you this, you give me your information. So
okay, awesome.
Really,
guys, I think that I think that I can share because I really well, I did that not long ago when I first started with chatbot marketing. Is that I started with all those getting people to subscribe to the chatbot, and I'm started to build those sequences. And something that I wish that I didn't do is like not planning ahead. Because a lot of people who registered and subscribed to my bot, I didn't have any sequence to actually move them to. And because the 24 hours has passed, I actually, well, not really lost them, but I kind of lost them in a way that would make things just more simple to connect with them, interact with them. So I know that the next time that I'll build a sequence like that, I won't just think of this very first message. I mean, you can do that with email marketing, because an email, I mean, you have them subscribed, you can send them emails whenever you want. But on chatbot marketing, I mean, try to build ahead the entire sequence, or not the entire, but for you to have enough room, enough space to actually, strategize and build, and not just have the very first message, because the very first message after they interact, again, you have 24 hours on the timer to actually send something again and get them to interact again. Otherwise, you have them subscribe, but again, your options are very, very limited. Okay, so I would advise you to plan ahead. And one more thing that I would do is to really try to learn. I mean, for example, if you're a group owner that wants to launch that, how to integrate, because that will make things so much simpler. How to integrate with the Google Drive. I mean, this is just amazing. The data that you're gathering, if you don't have it integrated with Google Drive, that I think will take for most of you like 30 minutes to learn how to do that. If you don't have it integrated, I mean, it would just, it would be horrible. You're basically like missing all that data.
Yep.
I have everything on I have a Google Drive called the Authority Hackers, and I have different sheets inside. And whenever you subscribe, I have your name, your Facebook ID, the time in which you were subscribed. If you're giving me the emails, so I have the emails there. I have everything. If you're sharing with me who referred you, it's written down inside the Google sheet. If you're letting me know what step in business you are, whether you're a starter, advanced, I mean, everything is already documented automatically, and it makes things so much more simple for me to later check inside a Google Drive. And by the way, that Google Drive can also really easily be integrated with Facebook. So for custom audiences, for lookalike audiences, if you'd like, if you're open to paid media, this also will make things much more simple.
The cool thing is too, like you were just talking about it had me think of something. Once you subscribe to, or once you opt into the bot, right? Everything that Facebook knows about you, the bot knows about you. So I just I'm doing a bot right now for a woman that has a group, or it's a weight loss group, right? And she has a couple different videos. She has one that's specifically geared towards men, one that's specifically geared towards women. So what happens is, as it comes through the flow, it says it knows your gender, right? And it says, if you're a man, we're going to go ahead and show you this one. If you're a female, we're going to go ahead and show you this one. So it's really cool. I mean, it's kind of scary, the amount of stuff that Facebook knows about you. And then that if somebody subscribes, you can go into the audience, you can see a whole bunch of information about them that I had no idea I had access to all that stuff. And now I do. And it's kind of cool. So things like gender, birthday, if you have it in there, there's just a whole bunch of stuff you can key off of on some things. And it really, it makes that experience a lot more customizable to specific people. You can deal with ages in there too. So if they're in this group, you could go ahead and send them a different path. But the gender one was actually really cool, because initially we were talking and it was like, yeah, we can ask them if they're male, female up front. And I was like, wait a minute, did a quick check. I'm like, oh yeah, we have that information. Facebook gave it to us. So it's kind of cool. There's some nice stuff you can do based upon just information that you know about them.
Yeah, it allows you to personalize the message a little bit more, which is super cool and effective, guys. Okay, so again, you can send media, so like photos. You can send, you can include their info inside a chat. So if, for example, you can greet them by their name, obviously. You can include past information that they gave you. So, for example, if someone goes into my survey, and once there's an option to actually decide or vote for another topic, so I remind them actually, so Daniel, you have selected, I don't know, Facebook automation before, and it really makes things super cool. Like, how do you automate that? It really looks personalized. It really looks like you're talking to them. Not that you say or state that you are actually the one talking to them. They know that it's a bot, but it just makes things, again, much more effective and nice and smooth. And it will obviously also improve the whole interaction percentage and click-through rates and all of that stuff as well.
Exactly. Yep, very much so. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'd love it if we can maybe, again, guys, if you have any questions, just drop them down inside the chat. Otherwise, I think that Rob has also something very cool to share. So I appreciate if you can talk a little bit about that PDF that you have.
Yep. So kind of what we talked about before, the registration, notify, follow-up, RNF. It's just a strategy that I kind of put together, and I actually have a document, a PDF. I can't put a link in here. Actually, can you paste that link? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. That's okay.
So comment, guys, comment PDF if you like that PDF file which Rob created. And yeah, you were about to ask me something. Sorry.
Yeah, I pasted the link in the private chat just in case you don't have it. So if anybody comments PDF, you can post it down there. And
can you share the screen?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me do this over here. But yeah, so right here, it's essentially just a quick little PDF that kind of goes over what the RNF strategy is, how to register, notify, and follow up. And it actually goes pretty deep into some other stuff that we do within there. One of the things that I have found is that if I give somebody a calendar link, like, hey, this is actually an appointment, right? So one of the integrations I do is I talk to something called Add Event, right? Add Event, I go into Add Event, I make a calendar, I make it's essentially a link that if they click it, it'll add an event to their Google Calendar, to their iPhone calendar, to basically any calendar that they want based upon that link. So what I do is when I set up my flow, I basically say the training is going to be on this day. So one of the things I do is within there, I say, hey, do you want to go ahead and add this to your calendar? And initially I just did it just because I was curious. What I found is that almost 90% of the people will add it to their calendar. So what happens is that when they do that, I have another notification there that pops them about 10 minutes before. So my goal is to get them notified as many times as possible that a live is going to happen, or that our training is going to happen, or whatever event is going to happen. And then once we started doing that, I've noticed that, yeah, our live numbers just keep growing. And it's been really, really kind of cool really kind of cool to see. And this kind of goes over that. It also goes over how to use, I don't use events in Facebook. The reason why is because events end, right? And if I go to an event, it's going to say it's over. So instead of doing that, I make the same type of thing, but I'll do a regular post on my page. And then through the flow, I'll encourage people to share that post, because essentially what happens at that point, it becomes evergreen. Right? If somebody can go back, if somebody shares it, they can go back through a year later, click that thing, and because of the way the flow's set up, it'll go ahead and let them go through it. So it's a part of the strategy that's in there. And it's, once you start doing that, people start sharing it, it grows your group organically. I mean, our group is, I think we're almost at 1,000 people now. But we get people coming in that way because somebody shared it. We probably get at least 2 or 3 people coming in that way. Every time we do this, which is fine, because the great thing is that they're targeted people. They're people that I want in the group because of the training that we do. It's specific. The stuff I deal with is network marketing stuff. So our group is geared just towards network marketers. So when people share the training, if somebody's not a network marketer, they're not going to care about it. But if they do want to see it, yeah, those are the people I'm after, and it lets me grow my group organically, and it gets the right people into my group. So this PDF kind of goes over. Goes over all that. And if you guys really want to see it, what you can do is it can email it, right? You can get it emailed to you, or what'll actually happen, I think I've already gone through the flow, so it may not do it. It should, yeah, I've already done this one. I've got it set up. Once you come in through here, the first time, it should actually pop up a little messenger bot here, and you can get it delivered through your messenger. Or you can click right up here and actually download it. So there's 2 ways to actually get it. So yeah, so here it goes. It'll kick off, and there's right there. So you can click right here, you download the PDF overview, and you'll be good to go. The other thing is, back up here.
Yeah, I think it will also just be amazing to see a little bit of what Rob is doing behind the scenes, like on the chat, on the chatbot marketing. I mean, if you are really, if you want to start with chatbot marketing, it will be awesome to really try to identify who are the top people that are building those sequences, and just check out what they do and get ideas from that. I mean, just like I interacted with Rob before and got the whole idea of our Never Bounce, and like he mentioned earlier about the video that I also able to provide him with an idea. It will be super cool just to get a hold of all those people. I know that I don't know if you know, for example, Natasha. There's a Natasha Takishomi something. She was an expert guest in the Traffic and Conversion Summit by Ryan Dice, and I've been following her ever since. And she was also from the whole Facebook ad, the Chatbot agency and stuff. And I was just trying to find the whole kind of people who do that, to see what they do inside of chatbot marketing, what their sequences look like, and just get ideas from it. So guys, even for that, I think it would be awesome to just see how he strategizes, how he does that, the whole funnel behind it, how the sequence is built. So like what email or message will I get tomorrow? It will be super cool.
Yep. And Gabriel, so here, that's a great point that you brought up. For anyone that's just starting out, I would just start visiting pages that I'm interested in. And that's kind of how I got on Blake's thing. There's an opt-in for one of his things. Get into a bunch of people's bots and just see the flow, right? Get ideas from what they do. And your thing, yeah, is blurred out there. There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, subscribe. This is what I do. I subscribe to everybody just because I want to see what people do. And and I get so many different ideas. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. How can I implement that? I mean, use what people do. People have awesome ideas, and totally go ahead and share it. Go ahead and figure out what it is they do and model stuff after it. And I mean, one of the things that I get, I don't know if you know who Rachel Lee is. She is Rachel Lee.
What?
Rachel Lee. Yeah, so she does. I get stuff from her all the time on through Messenger. Like I'm not gonna say daily, but it's pretty damn close. But she sends out so much stuff. But it's cool because I've gotten some great ideas from stuff that she does. Blake's another one. There's a couple of the people in niche that I'm in that I'm on their stuff, so I get stuff from them all the time. And there's just some things. The share method that I use is one that once when I figured that out, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome, and it's just great. It's increased stuff. Being able to follow up afterwards. I mean, I can't tell you how many sales I've gotten from just on the follow up part, where otherwise I would have never gotten them. I could follow up with email, which is fine, but it's not nearly as effective as if I can send you a message directly, say, hey, you know what, we had an awesome training on this. What do you think? If you purchase this today, right now, I'll give you a discount, or I'll give you something extra bonus. I'll do whatever. But you have a perfect one-on-one opportunity now to market somebody that just came through the bot, just did your training. So it's like, here, I mean, it's a perfect. It's a great value, and it's a thing. It amazes me that more people don't take advantage of it, honestly.
I thought the same thing when I first started using that. I mean, there's so much opportunity here. Why didn't more people use it? I mean, it's not like, and also ManyChat allows you to basically do all of that for free. I mean, I'm also on a paid version because specific features that I want, but basically you can do that for free. You can do a whole bunch of things for free, and it's just awesome. So there's really no excuse there to just try it out for yourself, test it, and see what you can do with it.
Yep. So the other part of this right here, so the PDF kind of talks about the different methods there, and then what we actually have is this stuff where it's a done for you. There's a video that kind of walks you through everything, and I normally sell this for $37. It's a nice, easy little video. And I told Daniel, for you guys, I have a promo code that you guys can enter.
Authority.
Yeah, thank you. I keep forgetting it.
Guys, if you'd like, Rob was kind enough to actually give a promo code specifically for this group. So if you want, after the PDF, you will be presented with this option to actually purchase that $37 thing. But if you put the authority, just like Rob just did, inside the promo code zone, you see that on the screen, you'll actually get a 10%. I'm sorry, $10 off.
$10 off. Yep. So, and that's for you guys. That'll be here for. I'll leave that code in there, running for pretty much ever. So, if you guys want that, take advantage of that. Absolutely cool. And then I have a guidebook kind of that goes along with that as well. If you want it 17, but it's a neat little companion that kind of goes along with it. So, take advantage of that. It'd be absolutely awesome. And I promise this is set up as a one-time thing because I do market this to a lot of people. I don't talk about my group or anything in here because my group is very specific, a very specific niche. So I promise I will not. This doesn't put you on any list. This doesn't get you spammed or anything like that. So so you guys will be good to go there. So.
Well, man, awesome. First of all, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, it was good.
Stuff. It was a really great one. Guys, if you're watching the replay or anything, first of all, obviously comment #replay, but also make sure, again, if you didn't catch up the line, because I know a lot of you didn't, make sure to also submit all your questions if there are any on the chat, because Rob is a part of this group, and I will also make sure to go back and answer any of them. And I actually see one question popping up now. Guys, you can still ask them. Can you run a check in Chatbots? I actually, well, I have a, well, not just I, but you actually have a preview button. That's right, Rob, right? You have a preview button?
Oh, yeah. What, a checkout? You mean as in like a checkout, like as in like a purchase and checkout?
Well, maybe that. I was actually thinking that maybe testing the sequence, but if it's like a checkout, then I don't think there is any. Rob, what do you think?
Honestly, I don't believe there is. There might be. It's not something that that I've had to need to do, so I've never run into it yet. I'm curious now. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, I said it. Yes. Yeah, I was actually hearing a whole bunch of like announcements for Facebook that they want to do the entire check. I mean, I know that on Instagram it already exists, I think, in some countries. Yeah. So I think that it will be here for sure. If it's not already is, I don't know. because Facebook as well trying to do the whole process within themselves, within the website with the checkouts and everything. I would definitely check it out, and I know that Rob is already on Google searching.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. So here's the big thing. I personally wouldn't use it just because it's not secure, right? I'm not going to jam a credit card number through Messenger. It's just, I mean, it's not something I personally would do. Is there a way to do it? I'm looking here. It looks like there probably is. It would probably definitely require a couple integrations to a couple different things. But yeah, you can probably do it. I don't know if there's an actual checkout part though. But I am curious. I'm going to look it up when we're done here.
So I think that no matter what, a website will be a better option, especially if you're considering upsells and downsells and all those added features. And the retargeting option, that is also great. I mean, depending on what page the customer is in. I mean, maybe it will be possible with Chatbot, but I don't think it will be the same in the same level. At least not at the start. Maybe they will upgrade that later on. But when they are on your website, you also need to be aware that they're more focused on you. When they're on Facebook, if you're doing the checkout process and now asking for information or I don't know, a simple message by someone else will pop up on the same kind of screen, and that's bad for you because they will be more easily distracted than just being in your website with nothing on screen besides your product, brand, and message. Okay, so I think it will be always a better option to use landing pages and funnels.
Oh yeah, one thing I will say about ManyChat is that if you've never used it before, sign up for the free account. Once you log in, go to help, and there's a video tutorial. Once you sign in, you come down here to help and go to video tutorials. It'll come to their YouTube channel. There's about 20 videos in here. I think the longest one is like 10 minutes. Like spend an hour and go through these real quick. After you go through this, you'll learn, you'll know, you'll just be a lot more comfortable on how to actually do everything within ManyChat. It is absolutely awesome. The trainings in here, like I said, they're nice and quick. If you don't have the plug-in video speed controller, get that because it'll make this go even faster.